Okay, this is now tarot lesson number 101. Oh, I forgot to... I use that card in the middle to check the focus before I begin. Anyway, so today we'll continue with the two horoscope spreads where we're going to look at the houses of life and the houses of psychism for Stefan and Talis. And I'd like to point out that when we look at three cards together in this way for three houses, the group of houses of life, wealth, association, and psychism show what you're interested in at any particular time. And I think that if you have good cards, let's say, in houses of life, then if we're dealing if the spread is for 3 months, then just live. Whereas if you've got difficult cards or bad cards, we could say, in houses of association, then maybe what you do is over the next 3 months, rather than try to cultivate relationships and make better connections with people, maybe you're just going to be up against it for 3 months. So what do? Maybe you focus on what's going to work, because there's the idea that you can try to, if you're not good at something, put a lot of effort into it to try to become good at it, or take what you're already good at and what you already enjoy and do an awful lot more of it. So it seems to me that if you have good cards in the houses of association, by all means go out and meet new people and develop new relationships or improve existing relationships. Whereas if you get bad or difficult cards, there are cards that show problems in houses of association, then do something else for 3 months, or don't look to associations to be satisfying or satisfactory. But before we get to that, I think the name is Moon Silver or Silver Moon. And so she said, I think it's a woman, what card or house position shows a secret lover? So that's a kind of psychic discovery or psychic fact that people give you in a tarot reading. And it seems to me that if you're depending on your psychic ability, you might be right, but you might be wrong. And the other thing is the questioner won't always welcome what your psychic sense tells you, because you can say, yes, you've got a secret lover, or yes, this other person in your life has a secret lover, but maybe they don't want to know, or maybe they are annoyed that you know their secret. So it's all very well for the reader to say, yes, you have a secret lover, and they're right, but it's not always a good approach or a good thing to do. Whereas I think rather than want to know what card or what house shows a secret lover, instead of beginning with the idea of a secret lover, maybe you end up there. So you think about a secret lover, what kind of person would have or want a secret lover in the first place? So you look to the card here in the first house, and we've got the Seven of Swords in this case. So you would look here, and that would give you maybe an 85% chance that they would be willing to do something behind somebody else's back and to have a secret lover. So that's one house you would look at. Then you look to the seventh house. And so it's the Seven of Cups upside down. Okay, so you look to the seventh house to show or to get an idea about the nature of the person's relationships at that time. Does this card show that a secret lover is possible, that you would want a relationship with somebody that is kept secret, that is furtive, that is... And it's a lot of work having a secret lover, because you've got to keep it quiet. You've got to lie a lot as well, and make sure that you're not spotted, and make sure that you don't get messages that other people see. You know what I mean? it's a lot of work. And the other house is the fifth house, which is the house of lovers, among other things, children, but lovers as well. So here we've got, does this person have a secret lover? Maybe, okay. We could end up with the idea that there are odd things going on when it comes to partnerships, and maybe you're trying to pull the wool over somebody else's eyes and you don't want them to see clearly what's going on. But the other thing is to consider, if you've got a secret lover, why did you have one in the first place? Is it because you're unhappy with your current partner? Or is it because you're adventurous? Or is it because you're a rotten person and you just like causing people problems? So you've got all that kind of information to derive as well. And the other house to look at could be the eighth, which is the house of sex. Do you have a secret lover? I think there is no one simple answer to that question, because it all depends on who the person is, what they're interested in, what lengths they're willing to go to. And so I think you would have to look at 4 different houses, 3 anyway, the first, the fifth, the seventh, and then maybe the eighth, to get an idea of if or how much the person is interested in having a secret lover and how much not. So, Stefan, houses of association of the 3rd, the 7th, and the 11th. So Stefan had the King of Cups. I'm just going to put them together in the middle of the spread here. The King of Cups, the Hermit reversed, and the Ace of Pentacles reversed. So I did something different this time. Oh, it's not different. But I wrote on a piece of paper, I wrote down one word for each card. And you might like to try this as well, to give you a starting point. So the King of Cups, I wrote down friendly. So because the question is about Stefan's associations, I think we're looking at it from the point of view of Stefan, not from the point of view of other people. So he is friendly and outgoing because he's a King of Cups and welcoming. He is also the Hermit, and I wrote down isolation, I think. And then I wrote this equals with a bar through it, meaning don't or negative. So it's a bit like he's outgoing, but it could be that people don't understand him, or he's too much of a loner. This is for now and the next month or so. It's not forever. It's kind of a horoscope spread can show the kind of stage that you're going through, or the kind of situation that you're working through at the moment and into the future. But the Hermit reverse can also indicate the kind of people that Stefan will come into contact with over the next period. If the Hermit had been upright, they would have been loners, but they've got a lot to say because the card is upright. Whereas the card is upside down, so it's a bit like Stefan kind of a message for them or good things to say to other people, but they're not going to get it because the Hermit is upside down. And the third card I get was, what did I write for that? Oh, that's for the next one. The Ace of Coins, I wrote down, his values. So don't. And it can be that another indication that Stefan has things to say. And an ace is a new beginning, but it's upside down. And Pentacles is money, but it also represents values. So what Stefan wants to communicate to other people, what he wants to talk about, what he wants to say, what he wants to explain, they're not going to get it. And it could be from these 3 cards that association is not going to be that fruitful or enjoyable an area of life for the next month. Well, Stefan mentioned it was 2 months, and he did this a month ago. So we're looking at the next month. So don't look for great satisfaction, or don't be surprised if you don't find great satisfaction with other people over the next period. Then Talis had 3 cards for association: the 5 of Cups reversed, Justice reversed, and the Ace of Batons upright. So for her, I got these mixed up. The Five of, okay. So I wrote down 3 words. 5 of Cups upside down. I wrote UNH, unhappiness. H is my shorthand for happy or happiness. So unhappiness, just as I wrote fairness, unfair. So when it comes to other people, she can be unhappy. Life is not fair, but, and I say but because the 3rd card is upright, the Ace of Wands upright, and I wrote down, what did I write? Fresh start. So I think for Talis, when it comes to associations over the next period, she can find that she meets people and she gets along with them, but then it falls apart or it ends up being unsatisfactory and she's unhappy and not pleased with it. With Justice being upside down, she can think life is unfair because other people have good relationships. How come I don't? That's not the way to go. And it's not a productive line of thinking. But I think, because the Ace of Batons is upright as well, it's a bit like she may be unhappy, she may think life is unfair, but nevertheless, make a fresh start. Think of the card, the Ace of Batons, as springtime. So even though it's winter, act like it's spring and be open to and willing to make a fresh start with people. So this can mean that if she's a falling out with somebody, rather than be annoyed, understand that let bygones be bygones and let it water under the bridge. So, okay, we didn't get along for that time. Let's make a fresh start. And so maybe the point of association for Talis in the next period is when it goes wrong, make it better or make a fresh start. And then the last area was psychism. And psychism is the 4th, which is the condition at the end of life, which we don't know because we're not there yet. It's also death and regeneration, which can be difficult, but we don't know maybe in advance how we're going to handle and to what extent and how quickly we're going to be able to regenerate and make an improvement and deal with change and deal with endings. And it's also the 12th house, which is a house of karma. So it's other lifetimes and karmic debts and owed to us as well as our own activities and actions that cause difficulties or benefits for us. So the 4th, the 8th and the 12th are houses of psychism. And rather than talk about psychism, which can make you think psychic, it's not about being psychic. I think if we want to keep it simple, think of it as dealing with the invisible world, because the condition at the end of life is going to be there, but at this point it's still invisible. Death and regeneration, the outcome is invisible, so to speak, and our karma, we can maybe recognize it when it hits us, but maybe we can't really know too much in advance, because if you know in advance it's going to then maybe you don't, it's not karma, you don't learn the same amount of lesson from it. So when it comes to House of Psychism, and because Psychism may come from a root, the Greek psyche, which means the soul or the spirit or the mind. And because it's psychic, and because it's a tarot spread, and we're looking at an astrological horoscope spread, maybe what we do is for Stefan and Talis, given who they are, and the fact that we're looking at a YouTube channel about the tarot, maybe these 3 cards are going to give us an idea about how much progress they can make with their tarot studies over the next period. And Stefan has got a lot to do. I mean, it's going to be really good. We get Judgment, we get the World, and we get the 9 of Cups upside down. So with Judgment, there's rebirth, renewal. There's great success because of the World. And the 9 of Cups. So I wrote down these two are kind of obvious, and they're good things happening. And he makes progress, he advances, he develops his own understanding, he has breakthroughs, he has the kind of success he's looking for from the world. There's a but, though, and the but is the Nine of Cups upside down. And this card upright, this card, the Nine of Cups, is the wish card. So when it's upright, all your wishes come true, is a kind of fortune-telling way of describing it. When it's upside down, it's a bit like there's something not quite right. And I wrote down wish card. So because these two cards are so strong and they're upright, and it's rebirth and success, somehow the Nine of Cups upside down, I think, is telling Stefan what to do if or when things are not going that well. And as it happened, earlier today, I read an email from somebody who mentioned that she's been going through a state of depression. And then she talks about how she's coming out of it, or how she came out of it. I'm not saying Stefan's depressed, but she talked about how she knows what to do, and if you do these things that you know will restore good health or good mental health, or will restore a state of happiness, even if they're not that enjoyable at the time, you do it anyway because you know it's the right thing to do. And this can be what I wrote down, because for Stefan, I wrote down proportions. So when things are going to go well in this area, when they don't go well, rather than take the thing that's not going well really seriously and let it spoil what's going on, the bigger picture, understand that, keep things in proportion. And figure, okay, this is going badly, but compared to what's also going on, this is a minor glitch, a minor annoyance. So don't let the minor annoyance take over and upset the good things that are happening. So have a sense of proportion as well, so you can understand what's happening and how important it is and how unimportant it is as well. Whereas Talis got the Nine of Pentacles upside, I was trying to get upside down, the Three of Pentacles upside down, and the Page of Pentacles upright. So I wrote down here with the Nine of Pentacles up, so this looks like somebody who's comfortable. And I wrote down satisfaction. Satis, shorthand for satisfaction. And there's a Latin word satis that means enough. And so the idea of satisfaction is when you've got enough of something. So maybe with Talis's studies, she's going to think that no matter what she does, it's never going to be enough. So that can be something for her to watch out for, that if she knows that no matter what I do, it's never going to be enough, then you don't take it that seriously, because you know you're biased in a way against your own progress. That's one of the things. The other thing is, for the Three of Pentacles, I wrote down mastership. So it's upside down. So it can be that she thinks she's not making progress. She's not becoming as good as she ought to be, or as good as she could be, because it's mastery and it's upside down. Here we've got somebody on the bench and we've got two people down below. Maybe if she does a reading for somebody else and they don't take kindly to it, or they don't think much of it, or they don't agree with what she has to say, she can be upset by it or disgusted by their reaction. But maybe that's not the way to go, because the third card is a Page of Pentacles. It's interesting. Pentacles, Pentacles, Pentacles. It's money, but it's also values, values, values. This value doesn't work. This value doesn't work. This one is a new value because it's a page. And pages represent young people. So they represent a new beginning, or an early stage of something. So if Talis finds she's not satisfied and that she's not that comfortable, If she finds that people don't react well to readings that she does or suggestions that she makes, then she's meant to, because the page is upright, she's meant to look at her own values and what she cares about, and maybe come up with a new lot of policies, come up with a new way, a new understanding or a new way of looking at the tarot and what it's about. Not that what she thinks up to now is wrong or has been wrong, but it's a bit like take it to the next level, as they say. And so you've got, I'm reminded of somebody I used to know, who had a business, and he was very successful. He was selling advertising. It was a magazine. And in a particular area of industry. And he did really well with it, and then he sold it to a big company. Then eventually he bought another magazine in a different industry, and he tried to use the same methods that had brought him success with the first magazine. He tried to apply those methods with the second magazine, and it didn't work. Because what gets you to this level, right, got you to that level, but it's not automatically going to take you to this level. And this can be what Talis is learning about now with the 9 of Counterversed, the 3 of Counterversed. She's got what she's got. She knows what she knows. Now it's time to update her resume or update her skills or learn something new, or learn how she can incorporate new ideas into her studies, maybe. If we take psychism in Talis's case as being the tarot and related studies. So you can see I'm gathering up the cards here. Quick shuffle to finish up, and then I do this. So that was lesson 101. I'll be back in a few days with lesson 102. Look at the mess I'm making here. Okay, so thanks for watching. If you have comments or questions, let me know down below. Or else if you can always email me directly. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Okay, bye-bye.